I didn't even know this movie was coming out, and I'm on the internet in the movie algorithm all the time.
Bing bong.
Black Bag, while I did enjoy the film, it is textbook slow burn thriller. As somebody that enjoys slow movies, for me it was fine, but if you don't like slow movies, then this might be one that you end up avoiding. Although I genuinely hope you give it a chance. Black Bag's a story of this group of spies that work for the government, and one of them finds out that there is this entire huge world-altering plan to throw some country into utter turmoil, and a bunch of people are going to die, and the world is at stake, right? All of the typical stuff. But where this movie is really interesting is that it's essentially that premise mixed with Mr. and Mrs. Smith without any of the action, which I understand can sound a little unappealing. But I promise you, this movie is actually really, really good, and a fascinating depiction of the relationship between two spies who are married and how that affects their actual marriage and how much they feel like they can trust each other. Now, really, what is so fascinating about this movie is that with its premise, you would think that this is a Mission Impossible James Bond style spy thriller. Not the case. In fact, almost nothing, at least from a bombastic Hollywood perspective, almost nothing happens in this movie. There are no big gigantic set pieces. I feel like maybe I'm not selling it the best, but really where this movie shines is in the little moments between the characters in it, because a lot of it depends on the audience to pick up on little clues dropped throughout the film about who's betraying who and who you can trust and who you can't. But it also is just a depiction of human nature and how that impacts a job like being a spy, which has to be extremely cutthroat and realistically cannot involve much emotion at all. Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett are the leads in this film. They are the married couple that is caught up in this entire world-altering scheme. If anything, my only real complaint about this film is that I wanted more of their interactions throughout the movie, because their chemistry, in my opinion, was fantastic. It was one of the highlights of the film, and because of the nature of the film story, without spoiling too much of it, they're essentially pitted against one another, not knowing if they can trust each other, and because of that, they're not in the movie a lot together. There's not a lot of them interacting just one-on-one with each other without anyone else in the scenes, which is a shame, because those moments I thought were really, really strong. Easily one of the strengths and high points of this movie, the character relationship between both of them, and they both absolutely brought it. I'm a huge Michael Fassbender fan. I'm glad he's back. I know he took a bit of a hiatus for a while. Cate Blanchett was so good in this spy. Maybe she's a traitor, maybe she's not. You don't really know, and neither does he. I really enjoyed their dynamic, and I honestly just wish we had more of it throughout the film. And I know I said this movie is slow, but to that effect, it's also really short. In fact, there's a sequence at the beginning of the movie which involves all the characters just out to dinner together, and I thought there was a chance that that was the whole movie, would just be at a dinner table, which I'm a fan of small set movies, and I would have thought that that would have been a really cool direction to go in. You understand why they don't end up taking the movie in that direction. There are obviously a lot of scenes, as there conventionally would be. That scene alone was really slow. It might have taken up, a good 25% of the movie, and the movie is short, so at some point it is going to pick up, and it does, right? Even though this is a slower, more methodical film, it does pick up, and it has really exciting moments, a lot of adrenaline. It's slow but short, and I think that's where it finds a good balance, because despite the slow burn nature of this movie, because of the fact that it's not very long, it's paced really well, and that there has to be a resolution coming somewhat soon, even if you're getting a little bit bored, like maybe I was during the first half hour of this movie. I promise you, if you stick with it, it is worth it. There is a great payoff. This movie really takes it down to the wire. You don't know where it's headed, and you're constantly guessing which of these people is telling the truth. Are any of them telling the truth? Are they all lying? Is only you just have no idea. And I like that. I like that for the entire film, I'm there trying to piece it together, just like Michael Fassbender's character, trying to figure out who's behind all of this. And look, I can't say if Black Bag will be on my list of the best movies of 2025 or the movies that I like the best, but I will say it's an original movie. It's a smaller movie, and I think those movies are worth supporting. I understand movies are getting expensive. I have AMC A-List, so it's a little bit more financially manageable for me to go see some of these smaller films that aren't, the big blockbusters that everybody's hyped about. But I love seeing smaller, lesser known movies. And lesser known, let me just say really quickly, I didn't see a single goddamn trailer for this movie. So I don't know what happened to the marketing. I saw like 1 or 2 sponsored videos on TikTok, which that's a whole separate video because I don't really know how you get through to the casual moviegoer, because that's the only way that movies like Black Bag and Companion and Mickey 17 can actually make money, is if casual people go see them. I didn't even know this movie was coming out, and I'm on the internet in the movie algorithm all the time, and I only saw maybe one singular ad for this movie. I didn't see any trailers. I didn't see anything on YouTube. I don't really know what happened there, and I know that this movie is obviously probably not going to do very well in the theaters, but if you have the chance to catch it while it's in theaters, that you don't have to track it down on all 18 different streaming apps because it'll get lost in one of their archives, please go give it a shot. It is really, really well done, and I thoroughly enjoyed Black Bag. I think it is one of the more enjoyable slow burn thriller movies that I've seen.